Namaste, welcome everyone. So let's come into our comfortable seats. I'm a bit cold, so I'm going to wear my shawl for a moment until we warm up a little bit. Let's take this dog. Your tail. Tail's all over my mat. So we have a moment or two, and as we wait, let's settle, grounding down through our sit bones. Perhaps you're sitting on a block or a folded blanket or a cushion. If you have a couple of cushions available or some folded blankets, have them at hand today, because we'll may periodically use them during our practice. So we're going to return to our theme of the changing seasons. And we've been working as kind of an overarching theme, the changing seasons of India, to connect our practice to its Ayurvedic roots in India. And the seasons are called Ritu, and in India there are 6 seasons. We have spring, summer, then monsoon, followed by autumn, then early winter, followed by late winter. So the seasons are much more defined, and each of these seasons, this connection to nature, is associated with a celebration, a rite of passage, connected to deities. So this ancient wisdom of wisdom traditions that tends to connect to the changing seasons helps us to ground our practice of yoga into its source culture. So the season that we're practicing this time round is late winter. And we can usually practice this up around kind of late December and then January, February. However, as we know in Ayurveda, what we're actually working on is harmonizing our body. So often when we fall out of balance, bringing in a seasonal practice that will help us shift our mood, our energy, can rebalance our doshas, our constitutions. So we're working with the Kapha dosha. This is connected to winter. Let's bring our hands into our mudra for today. So the mudra for today is going to be Pingala mudra. This is connected to the right side of the body, the right nostril, the right nadi, the right channel on the right side, which is where the active, dynamic, heating, vital energy flows. So we bring our thumb and index, ring finger to touch. So thumb and ring come to touch. The left hand, let's have it above the solar plexus here, and the right hand at the belly. So we have the right hand, which is connected to dynamic, heating, fiery energy, which is the energy we want to cultivate in the cold depths of winter, is at the solar plexus, and the left hand below, just above it. And let's connect here with our practice. Holding Pingala Mudra, let us be filled with radiant warmth of the sun. Let us expand with heat, light, energy. Let us be filled with radiant sun and expand with heat, light, and energy, helping to lift us out of the dark, cold heaviness of the season of winter, helping to shift the energies so that we can connect with warmth and heat internally. As the seasons change, the heat and warmth from our body is drawn into the core. And so we may have cold feet and hands. Our peripheral parts of our body may cool down. And practicing this winter balancing sequence will help to create warmth and heat from within to expand to all of the corners of our body. One more breath here. Visualizing at your solar plexus at the navel, Agni burning, fire burning, warming you from the inside out. Releasing your mudra, let's bring our hands to the heart in Namaskar. Open our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale fully. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste. And welcome, yogis. So today is part 1 of this late winter practice. It's called Shishir, or late winter, Shishir practice. And we'll be connecting with the Pingala mudra today, and then we'll introduce another mudra and our second practice. So let's come into our first pose. And while we're in this pose, we then will connect with our breath. We're going to move directly into fire log pose. So this is where you might need a blanket to line the earth so that it feels nice and warm for you underneath your ankles and knees. We're going to come into fire log. So fire log is either crossing at the ankles so that you create a V shape here. It's also known as square in yin practice. Or bring your right ankle over onto your left knee. And again, when you look down, you should see a triangle here. Now, there might be a big gap between the right knee and the left foot, so you can pad it here with blankets or a cushion. Let me just reach for my blanket and my cushion. So if you use a blanket, you can roll up the blanket and place it underneath the knee there, like so. If this feels too intense, then cross at the ankles. This pose is called Agni Stambhasan. Agni Stambhasan. So see how you feel here. Settle for a moment. This is going to feel quite intense in your hips. So bring your hands together and move them into our Pingala mudra. So remember the right hand with thumb and index touching as at the belly, the left hand with ring finger, not index, left hand with ring and thumb connected just above. You'll feel some warmth building in your hips during this asana. And I'm going to invite you to begin to take breath in and out through your right nostril. The right side, the right nostril, connects to solar energy. It activates this energy cultivated through the fire element. Fire element balances Kapha. So notice the breath as you breathe into the right nostril. You can simply do this by bringing your awareness to your right nostril And as you exhale, exhale out of your right nostril. Inhale right. Exhale right. This is a variation of Surya Vedana. Inhaling right. Exhaling right. We're activating heat, activating the warmth of the solar energy. 3 more breaths here through the right nostril. Inhaling in to the right. Exhaling out from the right. Releasing the breath, releasing your mudra. Now with care, especially if your right foot is on your left knee, bring that leg down. And we're going to recross. So if the ankles were crossed one way, let's recross the ankles the other way. And then if your foot was on your knee, let's bring the left foot up onto the right knee. And again, you might have a big gap here. So you can either stay with the gap or you can cushion this gap. And one hip might feel tighter than the other. We all have very different space in our left and right hips. And again, this will feel intense in the left hip now. And when you've settled into your pose, into Agni Stambhasana, again, let's bring the hands to the solar plexus. Right hand, thumb and ring touching. Left hand, thumb and ring touching. Left hand facing down, right hand facing up. And again, let's take our awareness to our breath through the right nostril. So the practice of yoga is about integration, integrating the whole self. What we're doing here with our practice is integrating the warmth and heating energy that's associated with the right side of the body, with solar energy, and integrating that with the left side of the body that's associated with the cool, dark, feminine energy. Yin energy and yang energy is being combined here, integrated. So during winter, we have an excess of the cooling winter energy. So we balance that by connecting to the energy of the sun, connecting to the energy of the element of fire, Pitta. Three more breaths in and out of that right nostril. I am filled with the radiant sun. I expand with warmth, heat, and light. I feel the heat rising within me, shifting the cold, lighting the dark, lifting the sense of heaviness that descends during winter. Releasing your breath, releasing your mudra with care. If your foot is on your right knee, release that gently. Let's place both our feet flat on the earth and windshield wiper them from one way to the other to help release the legs here and release the hips. And then extend your legs long. We're going to come into a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Toes lifted towards the sky, feet flexed. Lengthen through your spine. Gaze to the horizon. And again, you can maintain this mudra with thumb and ring finger connected. As you exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips and reach towards our toes. So it might help you to lift your arms in order to hinge as far forward as you can go. And then relax your hands down towards your legs or your ankles or your toes. Gaze towards your feet or the horizon for the moment, reaching forward with your heart towards your knees. And then when you have reached as far forward as you can, soften through your neck, your shoulders, your head. Connect with Ujjayi breath here, that ocean sounding breath. This breath that sounds like Darth Vader. So you constrict slightly the back of your throat. And the breath you make sounds like the hut sound when you fog up a mirror in the bathroom. Keeping your mouth closed, breathing in and out of your nose as you make this hut sound at the back of your throat. One more breath here in forward fold, Paschimottanasana. And then lift your gaze towards your toes and begin to walk your hands back towards your body, unfurling your spine one vertebrae at a time until you come up. Take a moment here. We're going to swing our legs around and come onto our knees. If you want to pad your mat with your blanket, please do. Moving directly into cat-cow, Madhyasana, Bitlyasana. So hugging your navel in towards your spine, then lift your tailbone. Dip your low back, shine your heart, lift your gaze. Madhyasana. Exhaling, starting the movement at the base of your tail, rounding through into Bitlyasana, cow. And maintain this Ujjayi breath for now. This constricted breath at the back of the throat. Inhaling to shine and lift. Exhaling to round. And lower your crown, tucking your chin to your throat. 3 cycles here. And then coming to neutral spine. Let's reach the right leg back. Tuck the toes for a moment and push out through that right heel as if you were about to sprint, starting a short, fast race. So feel activated and energetic here. Really connect through your hands and your feet, connecting with the earth to help maintain a connection with the earth, with our Kapha dosha. Inhale, lift that right foot. So it's parallel to the earth. Now both hands can stay connected with the earth, or you can reach forward with your left arm, thumb and ring finger connected. Chakravaksan. Sunbird pose, Chakravaksan. One breath here. Hug the navel in. Imagine the solar plexus being activated here, Manipur chakra, in which the element of fire sits. One more breath here. Exhale, left hand to the earth, right knee to the earth. Extend your left leg. Again, activate here. So reach out through that left heel. Connect through all of the finger pads of your hands and the earth, the knuckles of your hands. Hug your navel towards your spine, then lift your left leg so it's parallel. Reach forward with your right arm if you wish, taking your index and ring finger to connect. One more breath here. In Chakravaksan. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Bring the left knee to the earth. Going to take a moment here, and we're going to move into Ashtanga 8-limbed pose. So you might want to shift your hands slightly forward and shift your knees slightly back. As you exhale, bend into your elbows and begin to lower your heart and chin towards the earth. With your tailbone lifted, elbows tucked into the sides of your ribs. One more breath here in Ashtanga 8-limbed pose. Slide your knees away and lower your abdomen to the earth. Move my dogs. Cheeky. Inhaling, let's rise in Cobra. Bhujangasana, tuck the elbows in, lift your heart space, lift your gaze. One more breath here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rising Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhaling to rise in Cobra, tucking your elbows. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale to lower. Let's bend into the right knee. Reach back with the right arm to take hold of your right ankle. Ujjayi breath here. Lower the right foot. Let's bend into the left knee and take hold of the left ankle with the left hand. Maintain your eyebrow, center of your eyebrow connected with the earth. So the brow is connected with the earth here. Exhale to release. Now we're going to reach back with both hands bending into both legs, taking holds of both ankles. And when you're ready, inhale, lift your gaze and lift your knees. Have the sensation that your legs are moving away from your hands. Dhanurasana. Now we all might be in very different places here. So some of us may have a very deep back bend. Some of us may have a very shallow back bend. Our spine are different lengths. The gaps between each vertebrae differ. Some of us have a bone-on-bone sensation much sooner than others. Some of us have stories related to our spinal health. So you can maintain the length of your body on the earth with a bend in your knees and your hands reaching back towards your ankles. Come into the variation that works for you. One more breath here. Let's lower the knees, lower the eyebrow center, release the feet, pressing into your hands, rise back into child's pose, Balasana. And here, this is where I invite you to bring your cushion or blanket. You can always pad the earth and rest your eyebrow center on your blanket. Just for a moment to counteract, to be the counter pose to Dhanurasana. One full breath here. Ujjayi breath. Slight constriction at the back of your throat. So we're gradually building up some heat. We're not diving directly into the creation of heat. One more breath here. Inhale to rise into table. And again, we're going to come into Ashtanga down towards the earth. So let's bend into your elbows, lower your heart and chin to the earth, lifting your tailbone here. Ashtanga 8-limbed pose. Slide your knees away to come into Cobra, inhaling to rise. Relax your ears, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Draw your navel towards the spine. One breath here. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise twice more, rising with the inhale, lowering with the exhale. One more time, inhaling to rise, exhaling to lower. From here, we're going to move now into Salabhasana, locust pose. So reach behind with your hands and interlace all of your fingers. Draw your hands down and away from you. Lift your right leg. Exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale to lower the left leg. And when you're ready, we're going to lift both legs and the eyebrow center of the earth. And if this feels too intense, again, you have the option of lifting one leg at a time. Inhale, lift your crown, lift your legs. Pull your hands away from your body. Draw your shoulder blades together. Salabhasana, locust pose. Imagine the energy being directed out of your toes and through your hands. One more breath here. Exhale, lower, release your hands. Let's place your hands one palm above the other, elbows to the side of your mat, eyebrow center resting on the backs of your hands. Let's soften here for a moment. If it helps, you can move your hips from left to right. Ujjayi breath, ocean sounding breath. Inhale to lift your gaze. Bring your hands back alongside your body, lifting up and back into child's pose just for a moment. And again, you can use your blanket or a cushion for your eyebrow center. This time, let's take our hands alongside our body, palms face up. So I don't know about you, but I can now begin to feel the heat in my face. I can feel the heat rising within me. I am filling with the radiant sun. I expand with heat, warmth, light energy. Kapha and this winter energy can make things feel slow, sluggish, can depress our mood, our feelings. We have a sense of heaviness, of lethargy. And connecting with this fiery energy will help us shift the mood, shift the energy of the body. Inhale to lift your eyebrow center, rise up, move your blanket, but keep it close to hand, because we might use it again in a moment. Coming onto all fours, tuck your toes, inhale, lift your tailbone, moving into mountain, Parvatasana. Pedal your feet here. And then when you've created enough sway that you feel satisfied, coming to stillness. Have your index finger pointing forward, all of the other fingers spiraling like the rays of the sun. Connect through the finger pads and the knuckles of the palm. Ears between your biceps. Turn the insides of your elbows forward. Tailbone lifted. Draw your navel towards the spine. One breath here. We're going to shift and come into a little twist here. So shift the weight into your left hand. And take your right hand underneath your body and take it to the outside of your left leg, anywhere along your leg or your ankle. And look underneath your left armpit. One breath here. Inhale, release the right hand. Bring that left hand round the right leg, anywhere on that leg, or down to the ankle. And then look underneath your right armpit. One more breath here. Release the left hand, coming back into mountain. Take a moment here. Bend your knees. And then let's jump or walk to the top of the mat. So yogi's choice, you can take one jump, take a slow meander. We're all going to meet at the top of our mat in forward fold. And here, when we're in forward fold, I'm inviting you to take your feet hip distance wide and wrap your arms at the back of your legs. So either take hold of your wrists or take hold of the opposite elbows. So that your abdomen is resting in your thighs. Have a deep bend in your knees. So you can have your hands loosely at the back of your leg. You can have opposite wrists being held or elbows. So it's almost as if you're giving yourself an inverted hug. Inversions, where the head is below the heart. So we don't need to come into headstands in order to experience the benefits of inversion. This helps the flow of lymph, that clear watery fluid that flushes out bacteria, that strengthens our immune system. And muscular contractions and inversions help to shift the lymph as it flows through the lymph nodes. One more breath here. Inhaling, release your hands, elbows, and unfurl your spine one vertebrae at a time so that you are stacking each vertebrae on top of each other as you uncurl the spine and come to standing in Tadasana at the top of your mat. And while you're here, let's bring our hands into our Pingala Mudra, right hand at the solar plexus, left hand above, ring and thumb connected. Take a moment here before we move into our Surya Namaskar, sun salutations, and we'll add variation. Maintaining your thumb and ring finger connection. Inhale to reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale to flow down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Crown reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Exhale, fold. Step back long with the right foot. Bring the right knee directly to the earth. Inhale to rise in Anjaneyasana, crescent pose. Low lunge here. Open the heart space. Lift the gaze. Draw the navel towards the spine. Sink into the left hip. One more breath here. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Leave the left hand reaching up. Gaze up towards the sky. I am filled with the radiance of the sun here. Exhale, left hand to the earth. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee and step back long with the left foot, coming into plank. Now you can stay here in plank or you can immediately bring your knees to half plank. Balakasana. Let's fire up and activate here in our variation of plank. One more breath here. Exhale, everyone, knees, chest and chin to the earth in Ashtanga Asana, 8-limbed pose. Inhale, slide the knees away, rising cobra. Pressing through your hands, rise through table into mountain Parvatasana. Mountain pose for a moment. Connect with your Ujjayi breath. One more breath here. Bring the left knee to the earth, step forward with the right foot. On the inhale, rise with the hands to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Sink into the right hip here. Draw the navel back towards the spine. So now you must be beginning to feel invigorated. This is the invigoration that we're trying to bring about with this practice. If something feels uncomfortable, ease back. One more breath. Bring the left hand to the earth. Leave the right hand reaching up. Gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Inhale, let's step forward with the left foot to meet the right. And before we rise here, let's take hold of our elbows, our wrists, our forearms in this deep forward fold Uttanasana. Allow your head, neck and shoulders to relax and feel heavy here. Your inversion. Releasing your hands, begin to unfurl your spine to rise up to standing. Hands reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, hands back into your Pingala Mudra at the solar plexus. Let's go the other way. Inhale, hands to sky, gentle back bend. Exhale, flow down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on shins, fingers on the earth. Exhale, fold. Let's step back along with the left leg. Bring the knee to the earth. We know where we're going so we can flow a little faster. Hands reach up. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, left hand to the earth, right hand reaching up. Let's exhale, right hand to the earth. Inhale to lift the left knee and step back into plank. You can stay here or come into half plank. Baladhasana. Together, knees, chest, chin to the earth in Ashtangasana. Tailbone lifted. Exhale, slide the knees away, rising cobra. Bhujangasana. Inhale into mountain Parvatasana. And let's take a couple of Ujjayi breaths here. Bring the right knee to the earth. Let's step forward with the left foot. Inhale, hands reach up. Taking your gaze with you. As you exhale, right hand to the earth, leave the left hand reaching up. Exhale, left hand to the earth. Tuck the right toes and step forward to meet the left foot. And again, let's come into a deep forward fold here. Hands take hold of wrists, or the backs of the legs, or take hold of your opposite elbows. Have a deep bend in your knees. If you wish to bring the abdomen to rest on the thighs. Allow the crown, neck, shoulders to soften, feel heavy. Your inversion, head below heart. Release your hands and begin to unfurl your spine one vertebrae at a time. Reaching up, gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to the solar plexus in your mudra. Pingala Mudra. Adding on. Inhale, reach up, bend gently. Exhale, down towards the earth. Now we're going to step back long with the right foot. Stay on the ball of the right foot. If you wish, you can bring your right knee to the earth. Otherwise, stay with me. Inhale, rise up. Let's take our hands to the sky. Take a moment here. Now we're going to move here. So if you're on your knee, we're going to bend into the elbow and sink a little bit further into the left hip. And then we sort of sink, come back to neutral and reach up with our hands. If we're in high lunge, we're going to reach up with our hands and straighten through the left leg. Exhale, bend into the left leg and bend into the elbows. Twice more. Inhale to straighten through the legs and the arms. Exhale to bend. So whether you have your knee, right knee on or off the earth, you are shifting the weight backwards and forwards here. One more breath here. Bend into that knee. Let's bring the right hand directly to the earth, left hand reaching up, coming back into our twist. Parivritta Parshavô Konasana. Exhale, left hand to the earth. Step back long with the left leg. We're going to move into side plank here. So you can have your knees on the earth here. So I'll go through the knees on the earth variation first. Bring the right hand to the center and extend your left leg long and reach up with your left hand so that you stay on your right knee and right shin. That's your half plank variation. If you have your knees lifted, bring the right hand to the center and rotate onto the outside edge of your right foot and reach up with your left hand. One more breath here, wherever you are. Turn your gaze towards the earth. Bring your left hand down to the earth. Rotate your body. Everybody exhale. Knees, chest, chin into Ashtangasana. Slide the knees away. Let's reach behind and interlace our fingers into Salabhasana. So taking Salabhasana instead of Bhujangasana. Inhale, lift your gaze. We can see how my breath shifted there. Draw your hands back. You can lift your toes or you can leave them connected with the earth. Yogi's choice here. One more breath. Release your hands, release your head. Let's take a moment to gather our breath. Hands on the earth, eyebrows center, resting on the backs of your hands, elbows as wide as your mat. Makrasana, crocodile pose. Connect with your Ujjayi breath. Bring your hands alongside your body. Let's rise into mountain Parvatasana. We're nearly there. One more breath here. We're going to step forward with the right foot. So option is to bring the left knee to the earth first and then step forward with the right foot. So let's take a big step with the right foot. If you have your left knee on the earth, that will be just fine for what we're going to do next. So we're going to rise here again. So rising up. If you have your left knee lifted, hands reach up to the sky for a moment. So you might need to settle yourself here. So you'll be in one of two places. You either have the left knee on the earth or you'll have the left knee lifted. So now let's bend into our elbows, wherever you are. If you're bending into your elbows and your knees on the earth, really sink into that right hip. As you inhale, begin to reach up with your hands. And if you're maintaining that knee on the earth, then simply come back to a more neutral position for your hips. So you're going to move forward and back as you move with your arms and elbows. Exhaling to bend into your elbows, into that right knee, sink into that right hip. Inhaling to straighten and rise. 3 times here, so you're probably on your second count by now. 1 more time. Take a moment there. Final time, bend into your knee. Bring your left hand directly to the earth. Reach up with the right hand. So you'll be in 2 places. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Now we're not going to step forward just yet. We're going to repeat the plank on this side. So let's step back with the right foot. Coming into your plank, you can bring your knees directly to the earth. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I do. And this time, we're going to shift the left hand to the center. If our knees are connected on the earth, reach back with the right leg and reach up with the right arm. So you come into this half plank variation. If your knees are lifted, hands to the center, rotate onto the sides of your feet and then reach up with your right arm. I hope everybody's feeling the heat, feeling the fire, the warmth. This is a great practice for the depths of the cold nights and days. Exhale, everyone, right hand to the earth. Rotate your body. And we're going to ashtang down to the earth. Knees, chest, chin. Slide your knees away, reach behind, interlace your hands, and this time swap the top thumb that's on top so that it feels odd, as if you're missing a digit. And again, together, inhale to rise your gaze, lift your toes, reach back through your mudra, your yoga mudra hands. We'll gently rock here. 1 more breath. Release your hands. Let's come into Makasana crocodile pose. Elbows as wide as the mat. And this time bring the other hand on top. Eyebrow center to rest on the backs of your hands. Soften here through your shoulders, your arms. Connect with your Ujjayi breath. Ocean sounding or victory breath. So we're boosting. My camera seems to be going all diagonal. Let's boost our immune system, boost our energy, boost our mood. From Makasana, inhale to lift your gaze, pressing into your hands, lift through table and come up onto your knees. And here you might want to pad your knees. So have a blanket available because we're going to move into Ustasana camel pose. If you wish, you can tuck your toes. You can also place your toes or your feet on blocks or a rolled up blanket so that your heels come even closer to your body. Let's bring our hands into our Pingala Mudra. Right hand at the solar plexus, face up, left hand face down. Thumb and ring fingers connected. Find your gaze, regather and recenter your breath. Let's pause here. Inhaling. Begin to lift your gaze up towards the place where the ceiling meets the wall. Take your hands to your lower back to support your lower back so that the heel of your hand is on that bony part there at your where your hips are. Exhaling, draw your shoulder blades together, elbows towards each other. Tuck your chin perhaps. Make sure you have lots of space at the back of your neck. Your knees and hips are stacked at this point. And then begin to reach back towards your heel with one hand. And that might be enough for you. You might reach back with the other hand. Keep gazing up towards that place where it meets the wall, meets the ceiling. And again, this is another pose like Dhanurasana. This is a back bend like Dhanurasana. So again, we're all going to be in completely different places. One more breath here. As we rise out, let's support our lower back first. And then begin to shift the weight of our hips back towards our heels. And let's bring our crown gently towards the earth. You can use your hands to scaffold you here, so you can place your hands and forearms on the earth. Or you can reach back and take hold of your feet and round deeply through your upper back, tucking your chin. Shashangasana, hair pose. One more breath. Release your feet, untuck your toes, sit back in child's pose. Arms can be alongside your body or extended, whatever yogis need here. Perhaps your knees are together, perhaps your knees are as wide as the mat. You choose. Reconnect with your Ujjayi breath. So in winter, it's natural for us to withdraw, to hibernate, to turn inward for restoration, introspection, self-reflection, quietude. But if our Kapha dosha becomes too heavy, out of balance, or aggravated by too much of this lethargic, sluggish energy, then it can affect the balance or the harmony within us. So we practice opposite. We bring in the opposite to lift us to balance. One more breath here in Balasana. Then inhale, lift your gaze, coming up slowly. Let's swing our legs around. And we're going to move into another inversion, shoulder stand or legs up the wall, yogi's choice. Or you can come into another variation. So I'm going to give you different variations. So one variation is to come down to the earth and then lift your sit bones and place a folded blanket or cushions so that you're in a supported bridge pose to start with. And you can stay here in bridge pose. And then instead of rising into shoulder stand, you can reach up with your legs, your toes towards the sky. So this is a supported variation of shoulder stand, so that your upper back maintains connection, your lower back is supported. on a folded blanket or bolster or several cushions. That height can be as low as or a little bit higher, the yogi's choice. So for the moment, we can all stay in bridge pose, Setu Bandhasan. And if you don't wish to be supported here, you can be unsupported in your bridge pose. So lifting your hips and pelvis, imagine that you have a block between your knees, keeping your chin tucked. So from bridge pose, this is where your options for transition are going to start. So you can, if you're supported in bridge, you can lift your legs directly to the earth. Otherwise, let's lower to the earth. If you wish to have legs up the wall, Viparita Karani, shuffle your hip up against the wall as close as you can, and then pivot your upper body and take your legs up the wall so that your sit bones are as close to the wall as you can get them. And then soften here. So this is this is an inversion. And if you want to move into shoulder stand, Shavandasa, I'll guide you through. Bring your heels up towards your fingertips, and then using your hands and forearms as a scaffold, lift your knees up towards your eyebrow center and immediately support your lower back by placing the heels of your hands underneath the heaviest part of your hips and pelvis. And then begin to straighten through your legs, supporting your lower back the whole time. You can walk your hands down your back towards your shoulders. Keep your chin tucked here, toes reaching up. So you may be again in different places here. So you could have an angle to your legs and your body is less acutely off the earth. Whichever variation you are in here, and there are so many places to be, depending on what you're looking for in this moment. Being mindful of your spinal health. Shoulder stand is a challenging pose. We're putting a lot of weight on our upper back. And so we maintain the chin to the center, tucked, eyes towards our toes. When you're ready to come out of your pose, bending your knees in towards your eyebrow center, hands and arms acting as brakes. Coming down with care and control. Unfurling the spine one vertebrae at a time. I think my feet landed on my dog's. And if you're on the wall again, if you hug your knees in, and then you can pivot your body, pivot your legs away from the wall. Moving with care, there's no rush here. We're going to move into Matsyasana as our final pose before Shavasana. So lift your hips and pelvis and place your hands, palms face down, underneath your hips. Extend your legs. Tuck in your chin, bring your forearms underneath your body and lift yourself as if you're sunbathing here. Matsyasana. You can lower the crown towards the earth behind you, where you can maintain your chin tucked in. One more breath here, and then let's lower to the earth. Releasing your hands, coming into your Shavasana. You can choose to stay in your Shavasana for at least another 5 minutes. And if you wish to conclude your practice with me, let's rise by tucking in the knees, rolling over onto the side, and coming up slowly into our seat. Oh, I'm so nice and warm. Let's bring your hands together at your heart center to close our practice. Inhale fully. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Dhanyavad yogis. I'm so warm, I'm so cozy. I hope you're feeling lovely and cozy and warm. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share. And if you're here live in person with me, thank you so much.